Hi, welcome back. I was using my lovely little realistic colour monitor. I love it, it's great. The reason why I like it is it's got composite video on the audio inputs, which is really very nice. So let's plug that in and I'll show you what the problem is. That's the audio, that's the video. So it runs 12 volts, so you can use it in a car or a van. It's got a whole bunch of controls and you can specify AV or TV. TV is obviously analog only, no digitalness here. Anyway, this was working fine, now not. So when I turn it on, just let it warm up a little bit. As you can see that there, you turn it on, that's not good. So you can see just a bit of colour. If I modify the brightness and contrast, if I put the contrast up, you can see a bit of colour there. And obviously there's, noises and stuff, and that it all works okay. But it's you can't use it, it's impossible. So there is a degauss button, so I've tried all that. Vertical hold, all that kind of stuff. You can't influence it at all. So it might be, well, I don't know what's wrong with it. Let's try and find out, because it would be a real shame if I couldn't use this thing. It's been actually pretty good. I like the fact it's a tube. I mean, I've got a little CRT, little LCD monitor, which is great, but I really wanted just a tube. And the fact that it's colour is really nice. So I'm hoping that it won't be too difficult, but you never know. So let's take it to pieces and see what we can see. Obviously, because this is a CRT, we have to be extra careful because we've got high voltages. Might only be 12 volts going in, but there's a little lot more than that on the neck of the tube. And I've never actually had this to pieces, so I don't know how it comes off. Sometimes you have to pop buttons off and stuff like that. That's quite typical. You feel, yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's to be expected. Be a bit careful. This one's not coming off. Okay. Ooh, it's very dirty. There's nothing there. So that bit moves. I wonder if this whole thing comes backwards. Maybe you lift it up and then pull it. Not sure. There's no other screws anywhere that are obvious. There's only 2 screws at the back. How weird. Well, that whole side piece comes off. Maybe it was to... That's a bit strange. Would have thought that would be there for a reason. Maybe, there would be some adjustments available, but it doesn't look like it. Move that out of the way. Let's get the spudger in and see what we can feel. Well, you can see here, as I move this up, that is moving past that power button. So I think there is probably some clips somewhere, maybe even on the front bezel, that's holding it in place. Because it looks to me as if that bit should lever off, but it's proven to be slightly stubborn. Oh, there we go. That was a clip. That was another clip. Maybe must be a clip in here somewhere. That's the clip that's gone. It's finally letting us in. Well, it's very well clipped. Yeah, I think there's clips under this front bit here, which is probably going to be difficult. There we go. I think the top bit there, you have to push it down a bit and it levers off. Okay. Not sure that was me. The other ones seem fine, but maybe it was. Anyway, so we've got a speaker floating around there. Now, there's a whole lot of controls there. There's also some focus rings there. Now, as you can see, they've got a piece of the some focus rings there. So as you can see, they've been painted, so they'll be set at the factory and then painted, and that goes hard, and because it's set, you don't change any of it. Right, well, it's a bit manky. Let me just pull this off. It's probably not energized anymore, but it's best not to. You have to basically pretend it is, even if you think it isn't. That's just safer. And we're gonna have to turn it on in a minute anyway, with it exposed like that. So I think the first thing to do is I'm going to give it a quick clean. There's a lot of dust floating around, and then we'll see whether we can pick up any information about this, whether these adjustments are tell us anything. There's also an adjustment there. Difficult to see what the label is on that. There are various adjustments available. I've made a list, but one thing that is probably the most likely candidate is the flyback. Now, this CRT is not really advanced enough to have a separate user control for focus, or even a pot. But what is interesting is on the back, I'll just show you this. That's the flyback transformer. There's actually a control there, and there's a control underneath it, so you can actually get to it without opening the unit. I didn't realise. I thought that was all hidden away, but that is, I think, a focus control. So we'll see. I think I'm going to probably put this cover back. Just, I'm just going to sort of lay it on there. Really, I'm not going to clip it on or anything. Let's put the sound on, because you never know, it might just work. So yeah, I'm going to put this cover back on for protection purposes. I've got to be able to do the power switch. Let's plug the video cables in. Video, audio, fine. And let me grab the power supply. So I'll probably put the, if I do that, that's currently off on my little power block. So I can put that in there and then turn it on. That's fine. And then be able to control it with that thing. I'm going to put the video signal on. And I'm not sure how I'm going to show you guys. We'll see. I guess if I do that, right, let me move things around a little bit. So I've turned it on. I've got the video signal hooked up and we've got power on that, so you can see the picture. Now if there's any adjustment on this at all, that's great. If there's none or very little, it probably means the tube is worn out. Though it is quite bright. Then just turn the brightness down a little bit. No, that's jammed. I might need to chop down the sub brightness. So let's see. Oh wow. Oh, that's something. Okay, that's interesting. So that's the main, so there's generally two adjustments for the central bit and then the corners. Well, okay, well that's something. It's a lot better. It's not mega sharp, but you can actually see it. Let's just see what effect that has. So I do that, and so I think that was adjusted far too high. So I think the tube actually does have a fair bit of life. And the resolution is not brilliant, but it's probably fine for what we need. So I think that's probably turn the brightness up a little bit, and then I can back this off. Cool, I think that's about as good as we're going to get it. Well, that was easy. I wonder whether it had been jobbed or whatever. I don't know. I mean, the text is kind of readable. It's not brilliant, but you know what? It is what it is. Certainly playable. I don't think there's any sound. I think I might have turned it down by mistake. Okay, let's get this button back up. I think we'll call that a win. Well, anyway, as a test monitor, that's not bad. That's a bit raunchy. Yeah, that's not bad. I think, yeah, you wouldn't want to do any word processing on it, but but I think it's all right. That's quite good. And you can kind of read that text all right. This is good news because I really wanted a CRT rather than a flat screen. It has some advantages, some disadvantages, but I also like the aesthetic. And of course, it's much less portable. It's very portable, but it's much less portable than my CRT, which I can use to take to Repair Cafe and other stuff. So I think that's a win. I'm going to put that back in its rack and then continue working on the Electron. One interesting point before I leave that is this here. A lot of these tellies, I mean not just portable ones, but you know, portable ones and big ones, they don't have this. They just have a aerial connection, and that's kind of it. And you can kind of hook into there sometimes, but this actually has a proper connector to connect up an external aerial. So if you had a a video player or a computer or something like that, or a console that has RF, then you could do that. So I'm gonna also play around. So I've never tried it. Play around with seeing what the RF performance is on it. If I actually flick it to RF, you can see there's the RF noise, and you can see it's on that screen. It's a little blurry, but as I say, it's knocking on a bit. That might actually be quite useful for certain devices that I need to debug that only support analog RF. Funny enough, I've got a Sega Master System that only supports that, and this actually could be quite useful for debugging that. Anyway, let me crack on with the Electron. Anyway, that's enough for this little video. See you next time. Cheers.